welcome Philip. And
Thank you.
next week will be Stephen. We'll talk about Stephen next week. We have Philip here. Let me just stop sharing my screen so Philip can tell us a little bit about himself. Welcome,
There we go.
Philip.
Al, thank you for the invitation. It's a privilege to be here. And yes, definitely. I with you, I wear my Thanksgiving pants every single day. So this
Nice.
is I can tell I'm in the right crowd. So again, my name is Philip Alderfer. I'm a KW Maps mastery coach. I did a little bit of TV in my career, and this today is all about building a consistent six-figure business. And if I can share my screen, I'm just going to jump right in and get to that and do that. Whoops, and scoot this out of the way so that I can do that. Everybody see the screen? We got a thumbs up if we can. Got it?
You're good.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. So 5 steps to six figures. And I call this database mini camp because database boot camp is actually a 3-hour, 3.5 hour long deep dive into building better relationships and then converting those relationships into business. And we're going to do it in about 30 minutes. So we're going to go pretty quickly, but hopefully not so fast that we miss any key details. I'm going to ask you to grab 3 things. Number 1, grab your phone because there are a series of QR codes for a bunch of free stuff. So you'll just be able to scan those and download free things. Number 2, please do have a place to take some notes. I tried to make it easy on some of these spots. There's a little spotlight up in the corner. It says jot this down, and those are some of the key moments. So when you see jot this down, that's just a little signal that you might want to grab that for future reference or take a screen grab if you want to. And then please ask questions, throw them into the chat or just shout out if there's something that's unclear. This works much better as a workshop and a conversation. Otherwise, you just have to listen to my voice for the next 35 minutes and there's better ways for you to spend your time than just doing that. So again, this is me. I'm Philip Alderfer. I've got a training and coaching company powered by cloud, and then I'm a KW Maps Mastery Coach. I have a real estate team here in Anchorage, Alaska. So if anybody's got their referrals that are heading to the frozen north,
Okay, you
please
could
send them my
turn
way.
your.
And you can find me on the socials. You can find me everywhere at Powered by Cloud on the web, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube for all the stuff that we do. It's all out there at Powered by Cloud. So 5 steps to 6 figures. What in the world are we talking about? What I mean when I say 5 steps to 6 figures is that there are 5 practical and proven ways to, number 1, prioritize the clients in your database. Number 2, to increase engagement with those clients. And number 3, to nurture those relationships. That's the 5 steps. And the 6 figures piece is to convert then those relationships into a stable, steady, consistent book of business. 6 figures and beyond. And really the only variable is how many people you are in relationship with. And this concept came out of I've spent about 5,000 one-on-one coaching hours working with top teams and agents across the country. And in my time, what I've learned kind of 2 lessons that really are the heart of this. The first lesson is that everything we do, every service we provide, everything we do as realtors can be copied, replaced, or improved on by our competition, except for the relationships we have with our people, right? If Al and I know the same client, if we both know somebody that's looking to buy a house or sell their home or invest in real estate, we might both know their real estate need. We might both have great listing presentations. We might both have great follow-up systems and do similar jobs. But my conversations with that client are always going to be different from the conversations that Al has, and vice versa. That's our essential moat around our business, is the relationships you have with the clients in your database. And the second lesson, the second thing that has struck me in the time working as a coach is that it's very clear 60 to 65% of most teams and agents' businesses will come from someone they already have in their database. It's a pre-existing relationship that drives your success. Now, all of the other things that we do, all of the internet lead gen and open house and door knocking and flyers, those things are all done in the service of growing the database. But the first step is the first piece to realize, excuse me, is that the business, most of your business is going to come from someone you already know. So if your relationships are unique and your business is going to come from someone you already know, how do we take those two essential facts and turn them into a consistent book of business? And that's the 5 steps. That's where the idea of the 5 steps comes from. And this is one of those jot this down moments. This is this is the first slide with the jot this down little spotlight in the corner. So how do you respond? My suggestion, first of all, is that you focus on your top 20%. Focus first on your top 20%. The second step is to build a human and scalable communication plan. And we'll talk a little bit more about what I mean by human in a second, but simply the idea that no one wants to talk to a weird scripted robot, right? We want to do business with people we know, like, and trust. And building a communication plan that accentuates that is key. The third thing is that conversations are absolutely critical, and we'll show why in a second. The fourth is, especially now and especially in a post-COVID environment, community is really critical, right? I love the conversation that just happened with Kathy around building a community within the YPN and then doing good things as a result of it, right? Whether it's YPN or wealth or or strong market center, people like to come together as a community to accomplish things. And our challenge as a realtor is to build a community within our own database, right? United by the fact that you are the linchpin that helps your clients build and achieve wealth through real estate ownership. And this is especially important for what I call the VIPs in the database, and we'll talk more about that in a second. And then finally, the fifth step is we want to think about ways to grow our influence, specifically with social media and direct mail, to help increase the number of people that you are in communication with, so that as your conversion ratios improve, you get more business as a result. Those are the 5 steps, right? So what do I mean by focus on the 20%? One thing that you may not have thought about it this way before, but I'm gonna maybe challenge your thinking. Everyone in your database is important. Every single person in your database is important, but everyone is not equally important, nor are they important at the same time. One of the things we have to be able to do is understand who are the people in our database that know us, like us, and trust us the most, and who have a need at any particular moment. And that group's what I call the core advocates. This is the 80-20 rule applied to your database. We know with pretty high degree of mathematical certainty that 80% of your revenue is going to come from your top 20%, your core advocates. And you can think of your core advocates in 2 groups. Number 1, your VIPs, and number 2, your inner circle. This is a terrible joke, but think of your inner circle as the inner circle of the people you would tell your spouse, you would tell you're getting a divorce before you would tell your spouse. These are the people that you are most connected to. These are the people who wave your flag, who tell everybody about you. And I bet if you go back and look at your closed transactions for the year or the last couple of years, you will find in your database a few people that have done multiple deals. You'll find a few people that have sent multiple referrals. And those are the ones that are your inner circle. Then you've got a second group outside of that, your VIPs. And these are the people that you like doing business with. These are the people you want to call. These are the people that participate and engage in your events. It may include your sphere. It may include past clients. It may include key relationships. It may also include what I call bulk sellers, investors, builders, REO agents, those kind of folks. But your VIPs are your 20%, and in that 20%, there's a small subset that are your inner circle, your closest relationships, your avatar clients, the people that do multiple transactions, send you multiple referrals, and these are the people that are the most fun. And those 2 groups are going to drive 80% of your revenue. every single year. So the first thing we need to do to build a consistent six-figure business is understand and identify our core advocates. I'm going to stop right there and just ask, any questions on that? Does that make sense, first of all? I see a few nodding heads. Yeah. Yeah, we apply the 80-20 rule everywhere, and yet we don't apply it to our database. At least we don't apply it to our database often enough, I think. And I think there's value in that. Now, the one qualifier is that someone cannot be a core advocate unless you have two essential bits of information. Number one, you have to have complete contact information. Name, address, phone number, email, because we're going to build a communication plan that requires all of those things. And the second thing, again, you might want to jot this down, is that a core advocate is somebody you have contact information for and you understand their motivation, their timeline, and you have permission to engage. Easiest way to think about this is that you must be able to answer the 6 connection questions from the book Shift, page 95. And they're as simple as, who are they? What do they want? When do they want it? Why do they want it? How they're going to make it happen? Because if you can answer those questions, it's not that the answers to the questions matter specifically, it's that the answering the question shows that you have a relationship that understands that person and what they need. And that's ultimately the way we achieve business success, is by helping people accomplish what they want, not what we want. We want the closed transaction, but they don't care about that. They want a house on their timeline. They want to sell a property on their timeline. They want to invest on their timeline, right? So in order to be a core advocate, you got to have contact information and understand the motivation, permission, and timeline. So the goal is to get to 500. And I haven't introduced this concept yet. And again, we're going fast. But the idea of 500 is that if we think of the 80-20 rule, that gives you roughly 100 core advocates. If you're averaging roughly $10,000 to $12,000 per transaction in commission, 100 core advocates at 10% conversion is a $100,000 business. And we'll get to the 10% conversion in just a second. Focus on your 20. We begin by consolidating all of the places where we have contact information. Facebook leads, Gmail, your CRM, open houses, all those sticky notes in the back of the car, under the seat, all the index cards in your briefcase. Get all of those things in one place. Upload them to a single CRM. You scrub, tag, and organize. And then you identify your core advocates. How many do you think you have? How many do you actually have? And for all of those people that you think are core advocates, how many of them do you have full contact information for? And do you understand their motivation, timeline? And do you have permission to engage? Okay. Whoops. Yeah. Roughly speaking, the inner circle is 5 to 25 people. Roughly speaking, the VIPs are about 20%. And then there's the best of the rest. Okay. Now, the next thing is to build a communication plan that converts those relationships into business. And what I found works is a system that I call 444-12, right? And the first piece are 4 calls. The second piece is 4 events. The third piece are 4 pieces of print or direct mail, something tangible, something to send. And then 12 real estate email messages a year, 12 fun and friendly email messages a year, and 12 text messages a year. 444-12. 444-12-12-12. Okay. The question again, does it work? Another one of those jot this down moments. The data shows that a 444-12-12 system, there or thereabouts, absolutely works. And it works in a very predictable way. When teams and businesses rely on automatic touches only, the average low single-digit conversion, 2 to 5% conversion from their core advocate group. So if you're averaging roughly 20 touches a year and they're all automatic, you're counting on text and email, don't be surprised if out of your core advocates, you're getting 2 to 5% conversion. We double conversion when we add the phone call. That's why I say phone calls are critical, right? Automatic touches plus consistent phone calls launch conversion from the core advocate group into the high single digit range pretty consistently, 6, 7, 8, 9%. So again, if you've got 100 core advocates and you're getting 9% conversion, We're talking 9 deals. If you're averaging $10,000 to $12,000 a deal, there's your $100,000 business. And then the only question on how many hundreds you make is how many core advocates you have, or how much you can improve conversion. And the final step in conversion is when you put together phone calls, automatic touches, and events. The Friendsgiving, the YPN workshop to pack food boxes, the client or the cocktail party, the giveaway at Carnegie Mortgage. When you combine automatic and phone call and event-based activities with your people, that's where we see 10% conversion out of the core advocate group or better. And that's averaging roughly 40 touches a year. And the thing that I hope you take away is that the quality and variety of touches is more important than the overall quantity. Roughly 40 matters. Roughly 40 is important because we want to stay top of mind. We want to be kind of omnipresent in the lives of our clients because we don't know when their real estate need is going to come up. So we don't want them to forget about us in the meantime. But the quality and variety of touches matters more than the overall quantity, right? Now, when I say touches, here's my caveat. Don't be weird. And I mean it just that simply. Don't be weird. We don't want our clients to look at us like this kid is looking at you, right? There is a national trend in advertising and marketing right now in which folks are shunning the label. We're focusing on the person, right? The individual Instagram influencer is as important or perhaps more important than the brand or the label. So what we mean is be yourself. Number 2, prepare in advance, right? It's much easier to follow a plan than to create one. So plan in advance. And number 3, social proof is critical. So we want to be conscious about soliciting reviews and referrals because that social proof, oh, Al helped me, he did a great job, and I'm willing to say something about that publicly, that is absolutely, that's gold, right? That's real estate gold. So don't be weird. Be yourself. Now, when you're building this 444-12 plan, and this is step 3 of the 5 steps, the soft touch call may be the most important, the most critical piece in 444-12, because again, it's what rockets our conversion ratios. It doubles the impact you'll have with your people. And the purpose of a soft touch call is connection. It's not a transactional call. You might need transactional calls. You might make lots of transactional calls. You might pick up the phone and say, hey, Al, I remember we've been looking for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, blah, blah, blah. I found one. That's a great call to make. That is not one of the 4 soft touch calls we would encourage you to make each year. This is the call you would like to receive. They're easy to make, they're robust, and they're timeless. And they look like this. I didn't put the jot this down, but this may be one of those jot this down moments, right? The first call I encourage everybody to make, everybody I coach, everybody I work with, is the update the records call. Hey, this is Philip Alderfer, Cloud Realty Group. As you know, our goal is to deliver great service before, during, and after the sale, whenever you need us. But in order to do that, one of the things we have to do is make sure we know how to contact you and that you know how to contact us. We know you've not moved since you last bought your house, but we just wanted to confirm 1356 North Bluff, that's still your mailing address. And happymermaid@gmail.com is a good email address at which to reach you, correct? Everybody does it. Well, everybody should do it, right? Your doctor's office does it, your insurance does it. We can too, the update the records call. The second soft touch call each year is, what are your real estate plans for the year? Hey, this is Philip Alderfer, Cloud Realty Group, just reaching out, checking on everybody because our goal is to deliver great service before, during, and after the sale. Just curious, what real estate plans do you have for the year? Well, we just bought our house last year. Why are you calling us today? Oh, I'm sorry, that's not clear. What I meant was, were you doing anything that would involve a real estate move or maybe an improvement to your house. See, because we have a list of 150 vetted vendors that we work with, many of whom offer discounts to our clients. And if you were doing anything at the house, I've wondered if a copy of our vendor directory might be helpful to you. Oh, yes, that would be great. Call number 3 is the event invitation, excuse me. And the event invitation is exactly what it sounds like. Hey, Al, Philip Alderfer, Cloud Realty Group. I just wanted to make sure you saw that we were having our Friendsgiving at the Tenafly office. Can you join us? Wear your Thanksgiving pants. And the 4th call is the one soft touch call that has a little bit of a real estate right hook. Jab, 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 right hook, if we're going to channel our inner Gary Vaynerchuk. And the real estate call is, my goal is to remind folks that your goal is to help them build legacy wealth through real estate ownership. Is anybody else working with you on that? No? I'd love to be that person. And I'm just curious, what real estate plans do you have in 2025? What are the things might happen? What are the things that might happen in your world that would cause a real estate move in the near future? Well, our kids are graduating high school. Awesome. What's next for them? Well, one's going to Syracuse, one's going to the military. Fantastic. Right? Those 4 soft touch calls you can put on autopilot and make them again and again and again and again. And the purpose, again, is deepening the relationship. But in that conversation, you will hear the real estate need as they come up. Now, I said the event invitation because I think events and giveaways are easy ways, that's a terrible typo, easy ways to promote connection, right? And what we want to do is match your business and personal style to the events that you have. If you like costume tuxedo parties and you make people wear kitty masks, which is an awesome mask, by the way, do it. Large events work, small events work. I personally like micro events, really tiny subgroups, 6, 8, 10 people, because they're better for connection, and it's just, I enjoy that more. But events and giveaways give you an excuse to make the soft touch call, and when you're there face to face, voice to voice, and belly to belly, you will absolutely have real estate conversations, I promise you, right? Mostly the event invitation goes to your core advocates, could go to your inner circle or some private group. They could be live, they could be virtual, they could be business oriented, they could be fun and friendly. It's entirely up to you, but events on a regular schedule will give you an opportunity to make that soft touch call, which is so critical, right? And unlike giveaways, giveaways are different from events, obviously, but unlike giveaways, our events are usually for core advocates, giveaways are for everybody. But what really matters is the communication around whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's an event or a giveaway. Again, attendance is less critical than the communication plan that happens around it. And they tend to look like this if you're doing things online or you're doing giveaways. I actually won that hat from one of my clients that I was coaching. This was their quarterly giveaway. It included a bunch of stuff and a hat. And yes, I won. That was pretty ironic. But you can use social media to promote an event or a giveaway and trigger conversations around it. Both the Mitten Home team and the Martinez team are really clever at using monthly micro giveaways. Got to register using the link. You got to follow the post. You got to like it. You got to check the box. Or sign up to win tickets. They're really clever at using the like, follow, post, comment strategy to give a list of people to have a follow-up conversation with. Thank you so much for registering. Thank you so much for joining. Congratulations on the tickets, right? Events and giveaways provide that built-in excuse for the soft touch call. Now, everybody get your phones ready because there's a QR code coming up. My one caveat, my one plea to you is don't improvise the event. Planning a good event or a good giveaway should begin about 90 days in advance. Organize your sponsors, select a point person, figure out how you're going to capture participants, and be really clear about what a win looks like. Is this about adding names to the database? Is this about new leads? Is this about connecting with your VIPs or your core advocates? What's the goal? And to make it easy, we built an editable PDF, the Foolproof Event Planning Guide. Scan that QR code if you want a copy of it. sign up, just first name and email. There'll be a confirmation email that'll arrive. But the goal with this is to build, again, just to recap what we've done, to build the database to 500, to focus on your VIPs, to build a communication plan that allows you to touch base and have conversation with them often and authentically. I'm going to implore you to make the calls, and I'm going to encourage you to get social, because that's where we see maximum conversion. Any questions on that? Because I just threw a ton of stuff at you. Any questions before we charge ahead into the final piece? No? Cool. What happens if you don't have enough people? We need to grow the database. That's where social media and the golden letter, direct mail, come to play. Right. If you don't have enough people, the first thing I would encourage is to find more clients with social media. And when I say social media, I mean free social media, not paid advertising, not Google SEO. Those are great things, and it's a different conversation, different purpose. But we can use free social media to engage new clients and add names to the database. This is not about relationship deepening. This is about starting relationship formation. And by far, the most effective form of social media promotion are listings, new listings especially, right? And the key to convert social media into leads is that, number one, the text has to be clear and direct. I see a lot of social media posts that are too much explanation and too many words. You've got less than a second to stop the scroll, because I'm trying to find cat photos, right? I'm trying to find the next fun thing online. I'll stop and look at good real estate photography. But when I look at it, I'm going to know exactly what I'm looking at. I want a clear, simple description. But our job as a realtor, our goal is to get into relationship. If we give away all the detail, I don't have any reason to contact you as a client, right? I will stop on great photos. I also need to be told what to do. I need a specific call to action. You can run these for free. If you do choose to boost a post like this one, I'd encourage you to boost it for about 5 to 7 days. Probably something like $5 to $10 a day, no more. And then you let Facebook do the targeting. Let Facebook do the retargeting, because the Facebook algorithm is way smarter than we will ever be about figuring out who needs to get this promotion in their Facebook feed. And then you can build a simple text and email only follow-up to help weed out the spam clicks from the real people. So step one to grow the database would be to, first of all, find more clients with social media. The second tool that I would use if I was trying to grow a database to 500 right now is that I'd focus on seller leads, and I'd focus on seller leads using the golden letter. Golden letter is a prospecting tool, not a farming tool. Number two, it needs to go to areas that have at least 5% annual turnover per year. Number three, just like the Facebook ad, the letter needs to be simple. Your letter will get opened. If you follow the steps, your letter will get opened, I guarantee it. Don't give your reader an excuse to throw it away. Too many words on a page, that requires me to work too hard. In the trash it goes. We want a letter that someone can read in the 55 steps between their mailbox and the garbage can they keep at the back door before they enter their house. The golden letter goes in a handwritten envelope. It has a real stamp. It has no return address, and it's mailed locally. And the golden letter says this: Dear Al, would you be interested in selling your house at 1356 North Bluff to a client of mine? If so, please call my cell, 512-270-8260. I'll send these out, just my personal strategy, as I send these out in blocks of 500 to 1,000. That 512-270-8260 phone number is a real phone number. It is my phone number. And if you listen to the voicemail, you will hear it say, "Hi, this is Philip Alderfer, Cloud Realty Group. I'm sorry I missed your call. If you're phoning me about the letter I just sent you, please leave your name and address, and I'll return your call promptly." Now, the reason I send that letter, I use that phone number is that that's a Google Voice phone number. The reason I use a Google Voice phone number is that that voice message is then instantly transcribed into an email and sent to me, but I don't read it. It goes to my assistant. My assistant then finds the property, does the tax search, and sends me an email. So that when I call back, I can then say, "Hi, Al, this is Philip Alderfer. You rang me about your property at 1356 North Bluff. How can I help?" Because the way most people make a mistake in the golden letter is that they put their personal cell in there and then they pick up the phone while they're driving. They're on their way to the grocery store, and the Al of the world says, "Hi, this is Al. I'm phoning about the letter you sent me." And that's it. And we don't know what to say. We don't know how to respond because we don't know who they are. We don't know what property they're talking about. This is a way to overcome that uncomfortable 30 seconds and give you the moment to prepare. Now, please understand 1 to 3% of all letters that you send will generate a response, and about 10% of all responses will generate a listing appointment or some sort of future follow-up. But also don't be surprised if you get a phone call 6, 9, 12 months later, because people will take this letter and they'll stick it in their junk drawer right next to their refrigerator. And when their need comes around again, they'll bring it back out. So responses happen either very early or in drips and drops over the long tail chain of a year, right? Now, if you want the golden letter, if you want more golden letter resources, again, I sort of give you a warning. We created a resource file. You can just scan that and get copies of that exact golden letter plus other variations. I don't love the variations as much as the simple one, but also the strategies on how to use it. So just scan that code for an editable golden letter resource guide. And the bottom line is this. Gary says it simply and well. Your job as a realtor is to build a database, communicate with it frequently, and service every lead that comes your way. That is our role, and that's what success looks like. And I think, yeah, we saved enough time for questions. Phew.
Looks like we had a couple questions in there about will you be sharing the slides?
If somebody wants to, I don't have them shared. If somebody wants to send me an email, I'll be happy to send you a copy. No problem. Yeah.
All right. And you shared your email in the, can you throw it in?
hello@poweredbycloud.com. Let me just put it in the chat again. hello@poweredbycloud.com. That's me.
All right, perfect. Let's see. Looks like the other question was about the slides as well. And then there is a question where they didn't think the link was working, but I think it was Jennifer, is the link working for you now?
Yeah, the weather reports, the newsletter, and the event guide's the free download. So,
okay.
So one for, yeah, it's a two for.
It's all in one. Okay.
Yep, all in one.
Perfect. So who else has questions? We have KW's database guru here doing business by referral. Anybody have any questions? This was, by the way, was a great presentation. It's a unique opportunity to speak with somebody who sold 14,000 homes.
Sold. The one thing I will, let me go back to this if I can, and I'll go here. Like I said, I don't want to make this some giant sales pitch, but this is a 30-minute version of a 3.5-hour deep dive in Database Bootcamp. If anybody's interested in that, I was grateful for the introduction, and it's absolutely my pleasure to be here. So I created a little bit of a discount code. It looks like Goal 50. It's actually Go Al, courtesy of Al. So anybody who uses the discount code Goal 50, you get 50% off the online version. That's an online on-demand version. That's all the slides. It's about a half dozen or so interviews with experts in the field that are using this, folks that I coach and work with, and that's the full enchilada if anybody wants that.
So how does your class work? Is that I'm assuming it's virtual, and is it does it happen periodic? Like how often do you give it, or
Yeah, so these I do a version called Database Bootcamp Live, and I do those about once a quarter. That Database Bootcamp is online on demand. So you've
Got
got 24-hour access to three
it.
and a half
Okay.
hours of material and courses and interviews. You can download everything, you get everything, go watch the interviews. And you can hear I think the thing that is most unique maybe about Bootcamp is hearing from other realtors that are in the field that are running these plays at
Yeah.
a high level. So it's a whole series of interviews with folks that I work with and coach or bootcamp graduates on how they're taking these ideas and putting them in practice.
Got it. So I'm guessing the answer is no, because I'm sure you discount it when you're sharing the videos versus live. But if somebody, buys the uh the video package where they're just watching it, not live, are they able to, if they have questions, is there somebody they can reach out to with questions or?
Reach out to me.
Okay.
Yeah, reach out to me. Yeah, I'm here to help. And that's I want folks to knowledge and information is relatively free, it's costless these days because we can go Google everything.
Yeah.
Accountability and support is what matters the most. So yeah, so once you're in the system, you can always send me an email. I can't promise that I'll get to a question, within an hour, but within a day, if you've got questions on how to execute or implement a specific bootcamp strategy, I'm here to help. That's part of what you get. Yeah.
Um, so let me see.
Al,
There's a ton of great, of
it's Tisha. Can I say something real quick?
course.
We Philip actually coached the Guild group. Hi Philip, how are you?
Tisha, how are you? I'm doing so much
Good.
better now that I hear your voice.
I just want to say he was really great to work with. Broke things down into manageable pieces of what you specifically could handle at a time, because there's obviously tons of ideas and things you can do, but if you don't put them into place, the time is wasted. So Philip really got to know each person he talked to on our team and helped, and was really great and just kept it at a manageable level. So I can't say enough good things about working with them.
Thank you. That was not a that was entirely unexpected, but Tish, I'm glad you. Thank you.
We
That means a lot.
You can't get a better endorsement than that. Tish has been with us for a long time. One of our very top agents, helps run $100 million plus team. So if that team was very happy with Philip, I bet he can help you as well. So thank you for that. And the feedback aside from Tish has been amazing. I'm just reading through. What's interesting, we do this every week, and most of the speakers get great feedback. But what I'm noticing is a lot of the great feedback is from some of our very top agents.
Oh, good.
Anthony G, Jeff Fiegels, all of these agents that are making these comments, and most of them are very top agents. They're saying awesome class. Thank you. This was great ideas. So great feedback.
Good.
Much more positive feedback than questions. So I think you did a good job laying it out.
Yeah.
So we may be able to let Philip have 5 minutes more of his day back, but I'd love for you to take advantage of this and ask some questions if anybody has any questions, but I can't force you to.
Yeah. Al, the one thing, just it's interesting you made the comment about experienced agents, because I think one of the things that I've seen working with teams, especially some of our bigger teams, is that we tend to have you ever been in a forest, right? And you've seen when they've cut down a tree and the tree is really strong on the outside, but it's kind of gotten hollow on the inside, right? And you'd think it's this big, massive thing, but it's a little bit, it's like hollow.
Yeah.
And I think that tends to happen to a lot of agents and teams, businesses as they get larger. And what I hope Bootcamp does is keep the core of a business longer, because it is exhausting, as I'm sure everybody on this call knows. It is exhausting to constantly chase down new leads,
Yeah.
right? That race, that feeling of, oh my gosh, I don't know where my business is coming from. I have to go find the shiny object, sign up for the new service, do this new thing, right? That's a rat race. And yet the reality is going back to the one of the things that I discovered early on is that 60 to 70% of most of our business comes from a name we've already got. We don't need to go find someone new. We need to change the nature of the relationship with the people we already have. So regardless of whether you're brand new starting out, you've got an interesting opportunity if you're brand new and starting out. But if you're an established business or a large business already, I mean, just ask yourself, what would it look like if we took the conversion from the people we already have from 5% to 7% or 7% to 10%? If you got 10% conversion from the folks that are already in your database, simply by changing the nature of the conversations, that's literally a $0 cost investment. Any one new dollar you generate on the back of that has an infinite rate of return. It's not just for, it's for everybody. I mean, building a solid database business is for everybody. Sorry, I'll hop off my soapbox.
No, that makes a ton of sense. Let me see. There's one more thing. Yeah, just more positive feedback. And just so you know, we'll be sending out this video to not only to the agents that were on this Zoom session, but to all 1,400 agents, and we'll include in that email, a link to your program and to the generous discount code that you supplied.
I just threw the website in.
So I guess we will wrap it up on that note. Again, this was super helpful for me personally, and the agents obviously loved it. So thank you so very much for joining us today.
Pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody.
Take care. Be safe. Be well.
You too, Bill.